He was 9 years old when his mother pressed the bread into his hands and told him, in a voice barely louder than breath, "Don't look inside. Don't tear it. Just carry it." The loaf was warm. Too warm. He felt it through the cloth. Heavy in a way bread was never supposed to be. In the camp, weight meant danger. Weight meant questions. And questions were things people disappeared for. Around them, the barracks woke slowly. Not with noise, but with tension. Someone coughing behind a wall. Someone whispering a prayer they no longer believed would be answered. Outside, boots crossed gravel in steady lines. The sound sharp enough to slice thought in half. The boy lowered his eyes the way his mother had taught him. Not too low. Not too high. Just enough to look harmless. She didn't let go right away. Her fingers stayed wrapped around his wrists. Cracked and red from cold water. Nails worn down until they looked unfinished. She was memorizing him. He felt it. The way people memorize faces when they're afraid this might be the last time. If they stop you, she said, "You're hungry. You were told to carry bread, that's all." "Why me?" he whispered before he could stop himself. Her eyes hardened, not with anger, but with something sharper. "Because you are careful," she said. "Promise me you'll be careful." He nodded. The promise felt heavier than the loaf. Behind her stood his father, thinner than the man who once lifted flour sacks and laughed too loudly in their bakery. The laughter was gone now. The flour, too, but the eyes were the same. Watching, measuring. His father gave one short nod, not encouragement. Instruction? The boy took the bread and held it against his chest. He walked. The path between the barracks felt longer than usual, stretched by fear. People didn't stare at him, not openly, but he felt their awareness like heat on skin. In teas, plays, everyone learned the same rules. Notice everything, acknowledge nothing. Halfway down the path, the loaf shifted. Just a little enough? He felt it then. Something firm inside the bread. Thin, folded. Not food. His breath caught. His legs almost stopped. He forced them forward. He remembered what his mother said. "You are not brave. You are careful." Careful meant walking like nothing mattered. Careful meant not touching the bread again. Careful meant pretending you didn't feel your heart beating in your ears. Near the wash area, a woman glanced up at him. Her eyes widened for a fraction of a second before she looked away. Her lips moved, forming a word without sound. "Child." He pretended not to see. At the end of the row stood a narrow shed, usually empty. Today, a man waited there. Older than his father, face drawn tight like paper, folded too many times. His cap sat low, shadowing his eyes. He didn't look at the boy directly. He looked past him, as if watching the world behind. The boy almost walked past. Then the man spoke softly, carefully, as if even sound could betray them. He said the name of a bakery, Rosen & Sons. The boy froze. That name didn't belong. It belonged to mornings and ovens and warmth. It belonged to a life that no longer existed. Hearing it here felt like being called by a ghost. "My father." The boy started. 2 fingers lifted. "Stop. No names," the man whispered. "Do you have bread?" The boy nodded, his throat tight. The man stepped aside. The shed swallowed them in cold, damp air. Straw and old sacks filled the corners. The door stayed slightly open, just enough to let sound leak through. "You don't open it," the man said. "You give it to me, and you leave." The boy hesitated. The bread was his mother's hands. It was her. Fear, whatever was inside it, was worth risking everything. Letting it go felt like letting go of her. "She said," the boy began. The man's voice softened. "Your mother is doing something dangerous. Something necessary." The boy held out the loaf. The man took it like it was fragile, like it mattered more than food. He didn't tear it open. He didn't look inside. He only weighed it in his hands and nodded once. "Good," he said. "Now go." The boy turned toward the door. That was when he heard it. Boots. Closer this time. He stepped outside, forcing his face into emptiness, forcing his body into calm. At the end of the path, a guard had turned his head. Not fully, just enough. The boy did not run. He did not look down. He woke. Behind him, the shed made a soft sound as the man shifted the sack. Too loud. Too late. The guard's eyes narrowed. The boy felt sweat gather along his spine. He thought of his mother's hands, his father's nod, the weight inside the bread he no longer carried. And he realized something that made his stomach drop. Even if he reached his mother safely, whatever was hidden in that bread was already bigger than him. And in this place, secrets did not forgive mistakes. Max found his mother where she said she would be near the corner of the barrack, have hidden behind a stack of crates, pretending to fix a loose wrap on her sleeve. When she saw his empty hands, she didn't exhale in relief. She didn't smile. She only blinked once, slowly, as if the smallest reaction might draw a spotlight. "You gave it?" she murmured without moving her lips much. Max nodded. Her fingers brushed his elbow, guiding him past her as if she were simply repositioning a child in a crowded space. "Good," she said. And the words sounded like it hurt. "Don't look back." Max didn't. He walked on stiff legs, feeling the invisible thread connecting him to that shed, to that sack, to whatever folded truth had been sealed inside bread. But the camp didn't allow clean endings. Nothing ended neatly here. Everything echoed. That night, as darkness pressed down and the barrack filled with bodies, trying to sleep while hunger gnawed like an animal, Max lay between his parents on a narrow plank. His mother's ribs rose and fell under his palm. His father's hands stayed close, not touching, but near enough to feel like protection. Max tried to close his eyes. He tried to picture the bakery back home, his father's hands dusted with flour, the soft thud of dough on wood, his mother humming while she braided loaves. But every time he imagined warmth, the camp pulled him back, with its cold, its smells, its sharp sounds. He whispered, "What was it?" His mother stayed silent long enough that he thought she hadn't heard. Then, in the darkness, she said, "A name. A name." He breathed. "A name and a place," she answered, "for someone who needs to be found." Max's mind raced. "Like a map?" His father shifted beside him. "Not a map," he whispered. "A message." Max's stomach tightened. "Why couldn't we just tell them?" His mother's laugh was almost silent, just air. "Because words can be taken, paper can be stolen, but bread..." She stopped, swallowing. "Bread is assumed, bread is allowed." Max stared into the dark. In the camp, bread passed through hands every day. Bread moved like a currency, like a prayer. No one questioned bread unless they had a reason. "And if they find it?" Max asked. His mother didn't answer. His father did. "If they find it," he said, "they will want to know who wrote it, who carried it, who received it. They will follow the message backwards until they reach the person they can punish." Max's throat tightened. The weight of the loaf returned to his chest as if it had never left him. He lay there, listening to coughing, to whispers, to a woman crying softly into her sleeve so no one would hear. And then, over it all, came the sound that changed the air. A whistle outside. Short, sharp. Boots. Someone opened the barrack door, and cold rushed in like a living thing. A beam of light cut across faces. People flinched, awake instantly. The guard's voice barked in German, too fast for Max to catch every word, but he understood the tone. Trouble. His mother sat up slowly, her hand gripping Max's shoulder. Not to pull him forward, just to anchor him. Her eyes moved quickly, searching faces, listening for names. Then Max heard it. A name. Not his. Not his parents. The name of the man from the shed. Or at least, something close to it. The guards were shouting for someone. Someone who had been seen. Someone who was missing. Max's heart slammed against his ribs. He felt his mother. Isse finger sticked in. His father whispered, "Stay still." The guards dragged someone out from a corner. Not the man from the shed. A younger prisoner, shaking eyes wide. insisting in broken German that he didn't understand. The guard slapped him hard enough that his head snapped sideways. The sound was flat and sickening. Max bit his lip to keep from making noise. The guards searched the barrack, not carefully, violently. They kicked bundles. They lifted boards. They tore through cloth wraps and flung them aside. A loaf of bread fell from someone's hands and rolled across the floor. A guard stepped on it, crushing it into the dirt with his boot. A woman let out a small sound. Not a scream, just the sound of something breaking inside. The guard's head snapped toward her. Max's mother pressed Max's face into her shoulder, forcing him to look down. Max heard the woman plead. He heard a slap, then another. Then silence. The guards continued. Max's father's hand hovered near Max's head. Not touching, but protective in the only way he could be. Now be keeping the boy still and invisible. After what felt like hours, the guards stopped. One of them held up something small, like a scrap, pinched between gloved fingers. Max couldn't see what it was, but the room reacted. A collective tightening of breath held. The guard spoke to another guard. They laughed once, sharp and ugly, like a door slamming. Then the scrap disappeared into a pocket. They left. The door shut. Cold lingered for several seconds. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. The air felt fragile, as if one wrong breath could bring the boots back. Finally, Max's mother whispered, so softly it was almost nothing. They're searching for the message. Max's mouth went dry. Did they find it? His father didn't answer immediately. Then he said, they found something. Max stared into the dark, realizing a new truth. The bread had been delivered, but the secret was no longer safely hidden. It was now moving through the camp, the way danger moves quietly, invisibly, and toward the people who least deserve it. And somewhere, in Soma pocket, someone held proof that Max's family had risked everything, without knowing yet who would pay. By morning, the camp felt sharper, as if something invisible had been tightened overnight. People spoke less, they moved faster. Even hunger seemed cautious. Max noticed it first in the way adults avoided one another's eyes. Rumors moved without sound, carried in posture and silence. Something had gone wrong. His mother gave him a piece of bread, thin as paper. Eat, she said. He didn't want to touch it. Bread no longer felt harmless. Bread hid things. Bread betrayed people. Across the barrack, the young man taken the night before sat with his head lowered. One side of his face had darkened purple and yellow. No one spoke to him. Not out of cruelty, but fear. Attention was dangerous. During roll call, Max stood between his parents, staring straight ahead. Dogs barked. Guards paced. Then he heard its whispers moving down the line. A message. Paper. Hidden in bread. Max's chest tightened. His mother's fingers slipped into his hand, cold and firm. No matter what happens, she whispered, you say nothing. Work assignments were shouted. Max was sent to carry water again. His arms burned as he walked back and forth, bucket sloshing, mind racing. Then he saw the man from the shed. He was being marched across the yard between two guards. His hands were tied. One eye was swollen shut, but his posture was still controlled, almost calm. For 1 second, his gaze met Max's. The man did not react. He only blinked once. Slow, deliberate, a warning. Then he was pushed forward and disappeared. That night, whispers thickened. They took someone to Block 11. They found paper. They're searching for who wrote it. Max lay rigid between his parents. Was it you? He whispered. His mother did not answer. His father's hand closed around Max's arm. This is not something you speak, his father murmured. Hours later, boots stopped outside their barrack. The door opened. Light cut through the dark. A capo read from a list. 3 names. The third was his mother's camp name. Max felt the world tilt. His father covered his mouth before sound could escape. His mother stood calmly, smoothing her clothes as if preparing to leave the house for the day. She looked at Max once. Her eyes held a single message. Be careful. She was taken. The door slammed shut. The barrack sank into silence. "Where are they taking her?" Max whispered. His father stared at the floor to see what she knows. Max understood then. The message had been delivered, and now the camp was collecting payment. They did not see her for 2 days. In the camp, 2 days could mean survival or disappearance. Max stopped asking questions. His father kept him close, always between Max and the door. On the 3rd morning, Max saw her crossing the yard. She walked slowly, escorted by a single guard. Her hair was loose, her face pale. No bruises. That frightened him more than wounds would have. She did not look at Max. The guard released her and walked away. Inside the barrack, she sat down carefully, as if her body no longer trusted itself. Her hands rested still on her knees. "Mama," Max whispered. She lifted her eyes. They were changed. Focused, hardened. "You did well," she said. "What did they do?" Max asked. "They asked about bread," she replied. "About payba, about names." His father stepped closer, and "I told them what I could afford," she said. "That I was old. That my hands shook. That someone asked me to bake." They were silent. "The man?" Max asked. Her eyes dropped. "He is gone." That night, something impossible happened. Singing, a thin voice floated between barracks, an old melody Max recognized from before the war, a Christmas hymn. People froze. The door opened. An elderly Catholic woman stood there, bent with age, holding a small candle, a real flame. "Illegal, impossible," she sang softly, calmly. A guard appeared behind her. Max's breath stopped. The guard looked at the candle, looked at the woman, then turned away. The door closed. The candle burned. The woman whispered, "Even here, light survives." Max felt his mother's hand take his. For the first time since the bread, something settled inside him. Not hope. Something quieter. The knowledge that the secret had not only endangered them, it had also, somehow, protected them. The candle did not go out. Max stared at it like it was illegal to believe in. The old Catholic woman sat near the door, hands cupped as if she was shielding the flame from the whole camp. No one spoke. Even breathing felt loud. "My name is Marta," she said softly. "You don't have to answer, but you can listen." Her eyes swept the Baracalo faces. Bruised silence. "I was baptized Catholic," she continued. "But before that I was just a child who learned kindness can be hidden. Like bread, like fire." Max felt his mother's fingers tighten around his hand. Marta looked at her. "They took you," she said. Max's mother nodded. "And sent me back." "Then they're hunting," Marta replied. "They think they lost something." Max's father's voice scraped out. "They found paper." Marta's gaze flicked to the flame. "Then they found a trail." Trails can be cut. Max's mother leaned forward, barely moving. "How?" Marta pulled out 2 thin wafers wrapped in cloth, the kind Max had seen once in town at Christmas. "I can't feed you," she said, "but I can give you a place to hide what hands won't search." "The chapelchette," Max's mother whispered, understanding. Marta nodded. "They avoid it. Superstition. Even men with guns have superstition." A shadow crossed the doorway boots, a guard's outline. Max's throat clenched. The guard looked in, looked at the candle on the floor. Marta didn't flinch. She lowered her eyes and hummed the hymn again, so softly it was almost breath. The guard stared for a long second, then turned away. The flame kept burning. That night, long after the barrack drifted into uneasy sleep, Max felt his mother shake him awakerful. Urgent. Marta stood by the door again, cloak drawn tight. The candle was gone, but the scent of wax lingered like proof. Max's father mouthed, "Stay behind me!" They slipped outside into the cold. Floodlights cut the yard into bright lanes and deep shadows. Marta led them to a small outbuilding near the fence, marked by a weathered cross. Inside, Marta lifted a loose board. Beneath it was a tin box. From her sleeve, Max's mother pulled a tiny strip of cloth stitched tight like a seam. Max realized she had written again. Not on paper. On fabric, letters so small they looked like thread. Marta opened the tin box. Inside were scraps, names, dates, places, written in different hands. A record. A refusal to let people vanish without a trace. Max's mother placed her cloth inside. Then Marta looked at Max. "You carried once," she said. "You can carry again." Max's stomach dropped. "I can't." "You can," Marta answered, calm and certain. "Because you are small. Because they look through children." Max's mother cupped his face. "This isn't for us," she whispered. "It's for after. For someone who will live long enough to tell the truth." They returned before dawn. No alarms, no shouting. Max almost believed it had been a dream. 2 days later, a transport list appeared. Names, numbers, a destination nobody said out loud. Max saw his father's number. His mother's knees buckled. Max grabbed her sleeve to keep her standing. Marta appeared like she'd been waiting. She glanced at the list, then at Max. "Now?" she whispered. That evening, Marta pulled Max to the chapel shed alone. "No parents?" she said. "They're watched." She removed a fresh cloth strip from the tin box new ink. Tiny letters and folded it into a hollow sheet carved inside the wafer. Then she pressed it into Max's palm. "Where?" Max whispered. "To the infirmary line," Marta said. "There's a nurse. Ilsa. Tell her, Rosen and Sons." Max hid the wafer under his shirt and joined the moving line the next morning, trying to walk like he belonged there. A guard stood by the infirmary door, Batan tapping his palm. "Why?" the guard demanded. Max forced out the lie. "Stomach." The guard's eyes narrowed. For one long second, Max was sure he would be searched. The wafer felt like a stone against his ribs. Then, somewhere behind them, someone began humming 3 notes of the same Christmas hymn. The guard turned, irritated. "Go," he snapped, shoving Max forward. Inside, Ilsa moved fast, eyes sharp. Max stepped close and whispered, "Rosen and Sons." Her hands paused for a heartbeat. She didn't look shocked. She looked ready. "Sit," she said. As Max lowered himself onto a bench, Ilsa brushed past and, in one smooth motion, slid her fingers under his shirt and took the wafer, so fast it felt like magic. "Good," she murmured. "Now forget you were here when Max left." The guard did not stop him again. Across the yard, the transport line was forming. Max pushed through Bodie's until he reached his father. His father crouched, eyes shining. "You stay alive," he whispered. "You hear me? Stay alive." Max's voice cracked. "I will." His father pressed 2 fingers to Max's forehead, half blessing, half goodbye. Then he was pushed forward. Max watched him vanish into the column. He did not cry, not because he didn't want to, because he had learned that crying could get you killed. But his hand closed where the wafer had been. Empty now, and yet heavier than ever, because the secret was no longer hidden in bread. It was moving through people. And if Max was caught, the next time someone disappeared, they wouldn't come back at all. And deep in the camp's paperwork, a single name was about to surface, one that would decide whether Max's mother lived or vanished next.